Of President Donald Trump voted for him in this election and the last and the one prior to that. However, President Trump is about to allow JBS, the world's most corrupt beef organization, to become publicly traded in America. President Donald Trump will be the president that allows for the complete destruction of the small, independent family farms and cattle ranches if he allows this to go through.
Newsflash, Donald Trump does not give a damn about you. But you know who gives even less of a damn about you? Myself and all the other liberals you thought you were owning when you voted for Donald Trump. What we got for you is a bunch of middle fingers, man. We're like, fuck you. We don't.
The vice president Yao voted into office. J.D. Vance was one of the first investors. Guess who were investing along with J.D. Vance? South Africans. You get where I'm going? South Africans were investors, many of them. So now fast forward to today. You guys are losing your land, right? Trump just brought and is still bringing over thousands of South Africans. You get where I'm going?
Unquote. China, the world's largest soybean importer, has shifted its purchases from America to Brazil, which now accounts for over 70% of Chinese soybean imports. Meanwhile, U.S. soybean exports to China have, of course, plummeted, with some farmers questioning the viability of their operations. Again, Trump and the Republican administration have cratered the American economy and crushed American farmers specifically. They benefit other countries. So if you're an American, it's sad news and hard times to come. But if you're Brazilian and a host of other nations, it's the roaring.
Hello guys, I hope you're doing fine wherever you're watching us from, and today I have compiled videos of white farmers complaining that the very government they voted for is actually punishing them. And this is so because the white farmers feel that the very government is actually planning against them. So far so good. The government have allowed some of the private entities to come and manipulate the farmers to sell their land, and more basically they are thinking that or they are rather saying that the government had orchestrated this, and that's why they are bringing the white Afrikaners from South Africa, calling them the refugee, while actually we know that those are actually rich people looking for somewhere to farm or invest. They're actually doing business with the government of Mr. T. But before I say much, let's watch the videos of most of the white farmers, complaining about the whole situation and feeling betrayed by the very government they voted for. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, and if you're watching this for the first time, please don't forget to hit that subscription button. We really appreciate that, and let's dive in.
The fuck around and find out situation. It seems that this is happening a lot with the Donald Trump administration. So I brought you guys a video recently about a farmer who was selling alfalfa, and he was realizing that because of the tariffs, they're going to lose their farm possibly because China is not buying their alfalfa right now. This next farmer, who says he's a Trump supporter, currently still a Trump supporter, wants us to know that we need to share his video because it needs to get out there so that Donald Trump knows what he's about to do is going to hurt small family farms. Check this shit out.
I'm a supporter of President Donald Trump, voted for him in this election and the last and the one prior to that. However, President Trump is about to allow JBS, the world's most corrupt beef organization, to become publicly traded in America. President Donald Trump will be the president that allows for the complete destruction of the small, independent family farms and cattle ranches if he allows this to go through.
Newsflash, Donald Trump does not give a damn about you. But you know who gives even less of a damn about you? Myself and all the other liberals you thought you were owning when you voted for Donald Trump. What we got for you is a bunch of middle fingers, man. We're like, fuck you. We don't care. We don't care if you lose your farm, bro. You voted for Donald Trump. You even said at the beginning of this video, I am a supporter of Donald Trump. Why the hell would we give a damn about your gripes? You're getting exactly what you voted for. I love when I see the memes and the conservatives out there saying, screw you liberals. This is exactly what I voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. I don't know why you're making this video. This should be a thank you video because this is what you voted for.
The SEC has already approved it. Now we're just waiting a mere few days for them to allow it on the stock exchange. And what's concerning is we haven't heard a word from the Secretary of Agriculture about this. We haven't heard any of the large cattle organizations that represent cattlemen speak out about this. They claim to represent cattlemen. The truth is they only represent the big guys. They're bought and paid for by the same organizations, JBS, Cargill, Tyson, National Beef, all the collusion that's happening. Go do a very simple search and you'll see the millions and millions and tens upon millions of dollars that these companies have been ordered to pay for collusion and price fixing, which has cost us our family farms and ranches. And what that costs us as the people who aren't family farms and ranches is a stable food system. As much as I'm a supporter of many of the other things that Trump is doing.
And there you have it. He's a supporter of many of the things Donald Trump is doing. And what he's talking about there is the hate and the bigotry. You see, he came for the bigotry. He came for the deportations. He came for the hate against the gay and trans community. But what he's getting out of it is possibly losing his farm, losing his shit, losing all the things that he worked so hard for. So here's the deal. Understand something. He wants...
You guys aren't going to believe this shit. I'll make it fast, but stay to the end for the kicker. You remember the last few years when you could not find a single family home, and if you could, you probably couldn't afford it because you had corporate interests like Zillow and BlackRock. They were coming in, heavily investing in the real estate market, wiping the single family homes off the market so the average person could not even buy one. Fast forward to this week, I'm sure you've seen the story of the Missouri farmer, the young guy who was at risk of losing his farm because the grant that he was going to receive to reimburse him for all these expenses he had been cut. Well, look, they've also cut U.S. aid, which gave farmers millions and millions of dollars because they would buy their crops and then send them overseas or send them, places here in the United States to help people in need, but it also helped the farmers. Well, I found out today that there is a website called Acre Trader. Acre Trader is a company that heavily invests in agricultural land. So you can go invest in these farms that are failing, that somehow they're just starting to fail, and you can just buy them up. Well, guess who heavily funded Acre Trader? JD fucking Vance. Do you think they're out here just destroying these small farms so they can buy them up, all these tech bros? Kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Rick Ekman says in the 3 days after the tariffs, cattle futures dropped below the point of break even for his farm.
Never had him do this before.
Yeah, he really likes you.
No.
Did you vote for Trump?
No. No, I did not.
Why not?
You want me to be truthful? I think to get to where he's at today, he's stepped on people, and he's got no morals, I don't think. I don't like the man. I don't like him.
Why do you think so many of your neighbors do support him?
I don't know. I guess I don't see anything good about him.
Does it affect the way you think about America?
It scares me.
Farmers is a
and getting rid of due process and getting rid of things like that that are part of our Constitution, meaning the only way you can change a Constitution is me, us, you, the people. We have to vote on it. We have to vote on it, and then Congress has to vote on it. He is not doing that. He is just doing the things he wants to do through, quote, executive orders, and you can't do that. Furthermore, he is allotting funds that Congress has already allotted. So like this thing with Harvard where he was all, oh, Harvard, if you don't do what I say, I'm pulling your funds. He literally cannot do.
But some folks who aren't feeling Trump's optimism right now are American farmers, and they are stuck in the middle of all of this.
Frank, who did you vote for president?
Mr. Trump.
Right?
Trump. Mr. Trump.
If the election were today, Frank, would you vote for Donald Trump?
No way. Couldn't happen. No.
You voted for President Trump. So now, in this moment, you say you're in a free fall. What is your message to him?
So I'm off the Trump train. Where I'm going for now is I got to protect my business.
Island, a wheat farmer who says he's lost $400,000 since Trump took office.
I think there was a lot of people who voted for him that want to stay loyal to him, but it's going to get to the point where financially, if it's between supporting the president or losing your family farm.
You voted for the president?
Yes, I did.
And do you support these policies which might be hurting farmers like you?
Right now, we're the ones that are taking the hit.
I think he's sort of backstabbing the main people who got him into office in the Midwest, and he just left us down.
A new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the...
No, the hell he doesn't. During the last trade war, we saw an increase in farm bankruptcies. We lost 90% of our soybean sales the week the tariffs went on. And that was just playing FAFO in one country. Now the whole world's tariff. I dropped my phone. Soybeans are currently down 28 today. Corn was leaking lower, about 5 to 7 cents, and now it's looking at like it's 2 to 1 penny across the board. Crude's down to $61.99, which means no drill, baby, drill. Live cattle are down 4, feeder are down 6. Hogs are down 3, cotton's down almost 3, and the dollar can't decide if it wants to be weaker or stronger. Trump doesn't love the American farm. He doesn't understand how tariffs work.
Farmers across the United States say they could face financial ruin unless there is a huge taxpayer-funded bailout to compensate for losses generated by Trump's sweeping cuts and chaotic tariffs. Make no mistake, I am sympathetic to farmers, even though the vast majority are Trump supporters. But the farmers' plight is entirely the result of Trump's asinine policies. So Trump is the one responsible for fixing what he broke. Unfortunately for Trump, he can't bail out farmers without help from Democrats. Unless bailout money somehow gets in, is increasingly unlikely to pass big, beautiful bill. Now, I don't want to hear from Democrats that the alternative to a bailout is worse. I'm talking to you, Chuck Schumer. What I want to hear is a list of concessions that Trump must make, including an apology for wrecking the farm economy and a heartfelt thank you to the Democrats for their bailout vote.
I don't know whether to feel pity or, to tell them relax, and they are facing the consequences of their choices that they made during voting. Whatever the case, you will tell me what you think about the white farmers feeling betrayed, and let's break this down to try and validate their cry, even if They made their own choice, and actually their situation began with the promises. I will make America great again. I will protect your farmers. But what followed were chaotic tariffs, trade wars with China, broken government contracts, and sweeping subsidies cuts that hit small farmers the hardest. All while the global corporation got bigger, richer, and surprise grew hungrier for land. And of course, today's video, it's not just a recreation, it's a reckoning. A hard look at how political loyalty was weaponized, how corporate greed camouflaged itself as patriotism, and how these waving the flag, the hardest, were the first to fall. Let's zoom in for a second. A Missouri farmer who believed in Trump's vision was counting a grant reimbursement to stay afloat. That grant was cancelled. No warning, no explanation, just gone. Another farmer sued the USDA for getting climate data that was essential for planning drought mitigation. Even worse, the so-called support programs were anything but supportive. Subsidies meant for small farmers were funneled into corporate agribusinesses, giants who didn't need help, while farmers cried on camera, lost homes, and begged for relief. So we have to ask, was this orchestrated? Did these policies intentionally destabilize small farmers so their land could be acquired by investor class? Or was it just incompetence weaponized by greed? Either way, the result is the same. Farm lost, future erased, and faith betrayed. Because it wasn't just a bad policy, it was a generational theft. Farm didn't just lose crops or cattle. They lost heritage, legacy, the house their grandfathers built, the land where they buried their ancestors, all swept up in a storm of nationalism, economic welfare, and corporate consolidation. It's not the first time this has happened in America. Think about the black farmers who were systematically stripped of land through racist lending practice and federal neglect. Think about the native land stolen through broken treaties. This isn't new. It's just wearing a red hat now. But what makes this different is the irony. The very group that was promised protection is now the poster child for betrayal. And they are not just losing economically, they are being erased from the American stories. And who replaces them? Corporation investors. The global elites who saw an opportunity to swoop in a while middle America bled out. They don't know the land. They don't care about the land. They care about profit margins and yield reports. Acre Trader is just one face of this new feudalism. J.D. Vance is the cheerleader. Trump was the salesman. And the rural America farmer, the commodity. Yeah, and of course, I think this part of some of the institution and organization consolidating and putting a situation that will force the farmers to sell the land is actually it was actually a long plan, because you know why because when I was thinking about it, why then was the white Afrikaners who are so-called farmers are being brought now? It is because this was actually a long orchestrated move to actually consolidate land and sell to the white Afrikaners who are coming out from South Africa, calling themselves the refugees. And but these are the consequences of making your choice according to your race, and thinking that you are special than others, or you will benefit more. than others. That does not happen, and that will never happen. The elites all over the world only care about themselves. Let me know your opinion on this in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe. Until we meet in my next video, have a nice time.